making myself comfortable. If you had told my 11-year-old self that one day I would ditch my class clown act and eventually become an executive director, I would have laughed so hard, orange soda would have snorted out of my nose like a fire hose. But I am that director. And it is all thanks to the transformative power of feedback. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, feedback has been the puppeteer behind your life's journey, pulling the strings since the day you were born. It came in different forms. A loud cheer when you took your first steps, to a clip around the ear for pilfering cookies. Took me a few clicks to get that feedback. It didn't stop when you left the home. The school system, for example, is an institution that's built on the very foundation of feedback. Informal in the classroom, to those dreaded report cards. Oh, I hated those. I was not a gifted student. Held back a year, remedial lessons just to keep my head above water. That, in a way, was feedback to me. I was a simple Simon, living in a world of Einsteins. I wouldn't pass my exams, go to university, or amount to much in life. But then something clicked, and I started to catch up. I couldn't remember when, so I dug through my old report cards for a clue. Spoiler alert, I was not the teacher's pet. Who knew? Michael must try harder. Easily influenced and distracted. This is my favorite one. Michael is the class clown.
You're like, woohoo!
I took that as a compliment. Oh dear. Then, at age 12, a beacon of light from my English teacher, Mr. Clark. Michael has excelled this year. I even used some of his work as a reference guide for other classes. With continued hard work, Michael has a very bright future. Wow. That was it. 20 seconds of feedback that transformed my life. It gave me confidence I never had before. It lit a fire under my backside. I put my class clown self to one side, for the most part, and studied. As I did, my grades improved. As my grades improved, my confidence grew. It was a self-fulfilling feedback loop. I studied like crazy for my exams, but I still remember shaking with nerves on results day. But Mr. Clark was right. I exceeded expectations, and that allowed me to go up to the next level of exams. This, my friends, is where I hit a giant bump in the road. My arrogant teenager, I know everything phase. Skipping classes, chasing girls, propping up the local bar. That was an awesome year. And while the bar had record takings, you've all guessed it, I tanked my exams. I didn't need my mum screaming feedback to know that I had messed up. I'd let her down, Mr. Clark down, myself down. How did I let it get this bad? Turns out I had forgotten the golden nugget in Mr. Clark's feedback. With continued hard work. Once the dust settled, I resat my exams. I put my nose to the grindstone, avoided the bar, for the most part, and managed half-decent results that got me into university, where I continued to work hard and graduated with a degree. That launched me into my career with an abundance of confidence, but I continued to work even harder. Fortunate to get promotions along the way, and now that executive director. I am convinced that the feedback from Mr. Clark was the launch pad that propelled me further than I could have ever anticipated. He looked past the class clown and recognized a potential in me that I would never have seen on my own. I met him recently, shook his hand. Sir, your feedback inspired my work ethic. It made me who I am today. I can never thank you enough. We both left with tears in our eyes. That is the transformative power of feedback. 20 seconds took me from class clown to executive director. Next time you are privileged enough to be giving someone feedback, please remember this story and the influence that you can all have. It doesn't matter if you're giving that feedback as a Toastmaster, a friend, a parent. Remember the power and use it wisely. One day, you could be the feedback puppeteer, saving someone from becoming that lifelong class clown.